Raymond, thank you for coming to the podcast, man.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So we'll just first go back in time to your podcast, the Radioactive podcast. How was that? And why did you leave?
Having a podcast, as you'd know, is very... It looks easy before you start.
Yeah.
But then when you learn that you need to be very consistent, and now it's very competitive, you never want to do something and you're not excellent at it. So it's very hard. One thing that I found really hard to do was
Are you a
multitask.
perfectionist?
I wouldn't say, but now the way the world is, you have to, this capitalistic world, you have to be excellent at what you do. So I had a YouTube channel, my vlog channel, and the podcast channel, which a lot of people don't know. But I had to pick one and just get good at that. I was doing both of them decently well.
Yeah.
And you can never really make progress when you're doing two things decently well. You have to be extremely good at one thing. So how I found doing the podcast, to answer your question, was very demanding. Before I started, it looked like, no, you just have a guest for 1 hour. You just call him, you just have a guest for 1 hour. But it's not just 1 hour. You have to prepare before. As you know, you have to prepare before. You have to take care of the guests. You have to edit the video. You have to look, even if you have an editor, you have to look through the edit. Provide different perspectives.
But if that was the challenge, isn't then original content, the one you're doing, isn't it more hectic?
It's way more hectic. But the way I made the decision of which one I was going to pick was which one has more potential. Where can I make the most progress with the time that I have? Mm-hmm. Where would I make the most progress? There's a lot of people doing podcasts, so it's very, very hard to stand out. You'd have to be doing something extremely different. Or just more consistently, because even consistency, there's not too many people that are very consistent right now in the African podcast space. Mm-hmm. Consistent quality. But my vlog channel, it's very, very hard for people to get into that space. And to be honest, I prefer doing that. It's more fulfilling to me. I find it very hard to express myself on podcasts. Like, I'm a character. I
couldn't see it in your podcast. You still wanted to include stuff. Do this and this. Like the energy was for like a web series. Yes. But do you feel like the podcast laid the foundation for?
And to just before you answer that, there's room for exciting podcasts like that where you have like things flying around. There's room for that, but also sometimes I don't know. I feel like the podcast community, you might do well if you're providing a very mature perspective on things, very in-depth conversations, The more flashy stuff might go to the vlogs.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally. So do you kind of feel like the Radioactive then set your way to come into, to just blow up with the internet?
No, the vlogs. It's a short-form content, short-form, high-produced. That's what... In fact, the reason I started the podcast was because I didn't have enough time. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I had too much free time from when I was shooting my vlogs and editing. I had a lot of free time. I was like, what could I do in this free time that's productive? So I looked into podcasting. This looked like only an hour of work. What bought equipment, started, but very, very challenging, to say the least. Yeah.
So what sparked off your interest in
vlogging?
Yeah, in vlogging.
What sparked my interest? I wouldn't say it was an interest to answer that question, I wouldn't say it was a specific interest. It just seemed like what I meant to do. Yeah.
And you just felt it.
No,
so nothing.
No. You have to do research. Like you have to look into things from a very I like to look at things in a logical, through a logical lens. So I was like, okay, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Where could this go? One of my philosophies in life is I almost never touch things that I can't scale. You only have one life. My perspective is you need to do things that you could scale. How far could you take this thing? What's the demand? I didn't do economics, but at least I fairly understand demand and supply, how to understand gaps in the market. Yeah, as it stands, there's still a big gap in the YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah. There's a big gap in that space. I felt like I could fill that. I felt like my personality suits this. Eventually, I wanted to be in movies and stuff and act. And obviously, no one will ever give you permission to do these things. Just get a camera or your phone and start.
So there's not like someone that inspired you, a creator, or what? This is you felt it.
No, there's a lot of influencers that inspired me. There's a lot of movie stars Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, everyone. These people that I really look up to, people that have done a variety of things within that entertainment space. So like Will Smith, I love the fact that he is a musician, actor, funny guy. He's a vlogger as well. He's Jamie Foxx sings as well, like act bad phenomenal actor, everything. So I want to do that. Like I want to be very multifaceted in the entertainment space. Yeah.
Where do you think the gaps are in the content space for now? From your observation, say East Africa.
Where do I think the gaps are? I would say high effort content,
What do you mean high effort content?
High effort content. And okay, there's a lot of TikTokers, there's a lot of YouTubers, there's a lot of Instagram people, right? But when do you ever see people going above and beyond to make like a short, high effort, like highly produced form of content? I've seen videos that people in other countries take months to do. Like you've seen MrBeast, all those guys. When would you ever see someone dedicate like months, 3 months to making one video? How do you compete with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously we're in a more emerging market, so you have to give people time. But right now, you're more likely to see people doing easier content. They're trying to post more content as opposed to better content. But not to say that they're not posting better. It's just going to take some more time to find people that are willing to, crazy people that are willing to dedicate like months to doing one video.
That's dope. So, I'll just read this direct. How do you incorporate the richness and diversity of African culture?
Where do you think the gaps are?
Where do I think the gaps are?
Yeah.
In the money. I feel like sponsors are not believing in the content that much. Or when they do, they're not giving the money that's worth. So guys just get tired halfway. It doesn't, people are not inspired enough. Like from my community, say from like Uganda, people are not inspired enough to feel like this is something they can scale out, right? They don't feel like, most people think, there's a misconception, think that you're probably from like an extremely rich family. So there's that supporting maybe.
Kind of like you.
Yeah.
No,
So there's that, right? So for just a young boy, maybe just trying out and looking out for it, it's not fulfilling enough for them to like leave, say, a professional job or that type of career to just do this.
Stability to just try things.
They've not seen that. They have not seen someone live huge just off this, right? We don't have so many examples of a MrBeast. So that is the gap. Like, and that is what for me I want to change maybe in the future. Like Joe Rogan, for me, I will stick to the podcasting because Joe Rogan did like 1,000 episodes before Spotify noticed him to give him 1 million. I think they gave him 100 million. So something like that. But it had to take all that.
Oh, that was like 200 actually.
Yeah, it was like 200. So I see that. But it took a lot of time, right?
How do you gain that stability to keep that up without a job?
I have a job, so
yeah.
But now gaining that stability for anyone, even if you take away, say I got a creator and took away the production expense from them, tell them, you know what, just come up with the ideas, or let's come up with ideas and then we execute this. I'm going to give you all the production power you need. It's hard. Also, people don't like to go through processes, right? So in Kampala, I have like a studio. I've been talking to so many people I find creative, like, come do this work, but there's like process. There's maybe process. You have to involve script writing. You have to involve this and that, planning. People don't want to do that. They just think of something. Then it feels like, okay, now shoot it like this. So no one is giving it the attention to detail apart from you.
Thank you.
The creators I've seen. But for you, started like that. There was attention from even the podcast. The sound would matter. The word was like, this guy is just a perfectionist. But it has spanned. I don't know.
Thank you.
You're here to tell us.
By the way, I would still do a podcast, but I'd make it very, very low effort. Like on my side, I would make it very low effort. I'd actually have more, if I could, I'd just have more episodes without a guest. Something that I could just sit down.
Very boring.
It's very hard to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong. DJ Academics.
Yeah.
It's very hard to just sit down and talk to a camera and be entertaining. You have to be a character, or you have to be extremely hardworking.
I feel like once you blow up, like extreme blow up, then you have the luxury to do something.
Yes, I agree.
So, because then I'll give my time to, okay, let me just listen to him, see what he's saying. Maybe
I'm already invested in him.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me just do that. So for that, then for you, like really, ideas like, let's say, the Rolex, right? How do you imagine and just start doing something like that? Like, go through that process.
Something I've been thinking about recently is I get that question so many times, but I think the question is asked. The question might be coming from a wrong perspective, which I need to correct.
Okay.
People don't just think of ideas like they don't just come up with a Rolex and do it. There's thought processes. There's, you have different inspirations. Because now I would never have thought about that if I was in the Ugandan at this point in 2020. When did I do that? 2021. When Rolexes are popular, I'm happen to be in the content space. I'm trying to do bigger and bigger ideas. All these things come into like these. Your environment affects the way you think. Yeah. You are a product of your environment, and it's like a combination of different things. It's very hard to just conceptualize from nothing. So it'd be very hard for a Nigerian to think of that, because Nigerians have different. It's like they have different food, different inspiration.
Longest time cooking jollof, right?
Yeah, like now something like that would be. So to answer your question, it's not exactly like I thought of it as much as it came to me. You put in all these hours of work into YouTube. Different ideas come and go. Some video ideas do well. Some of them bomb. Mm-hmm. And then that Rolex idea was never supposed to be as big as it was. I just had time and I had a little money saved. And I was like, okay, this week, let's just try and make a giant Rolex where it's going to fail. Because I did engineering. I did physics, chemistry, math in high school. So when I thought about that idea, right, I didn't think it was gonna do anything. We just had so at my mother's house, right, we just had like a space in the compound. I was like, bro, I think we could try to make a giant Rolex. It's gonna fail, but the failure will be, we could document that as well. That'll be exciting. So we bought flour, we bought everything. We bought so much. We bought 100 kilograms of flour. We just estimated off of nothing. 100 kilograms of flour, oil. This is the biggest purchase I ever made in my life, at least physically, because we bought stuff that was so many things. I constructed like a little makeshift stove, not a makeshift stove, but like we just had bricks constructed. It was 3 meters by 3 meters by 3. It was like 3 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters.
So a square.
Yeah, like a square. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said 3 by 3 by 3. It's 3 by 3 by maybe raised by like 2, right? Make an equivalent sized frying pan with a gate. That was like a gate. Yeah, so we tried to make it. Obviously, it failed, but you learn from those failures and you keep going and going and going until you eventually make it.
So was this for the sake of just making the Rolex, or there was like some deep message you're putting out there about content creation?
I think it eventually started off as just a video idea, but eventually these things start to change you, man. You start finding your own purpose in those videos, and like the resilience teaches you patience, failure. Bro, we failed to make that thing 4 different times, which is we failed to make it 3 times. We did the 4th, which is crazy. You're spending all this money. You don't know if it's going to work. At that time, the Guinness World Record thing wasn't really popular in Africa. In fact, there was only...
Yeah, you really made it popular for us. Like why should it matter? Like, but now you really, like, you think about it, you're like, that's actually a Guinness
World Record?
Yeah, that's a world record, my friend.
I definitely might have helped a little, but I think the one that really made it popular was Hilda Bachi from Nigeria. Crazy.
I feel like the Rolex thing was popular more than that. Like
more?
Yeah, I feel like if you sat me down and asked, I would be like the Hilda people copped the fact that this guy did a Rolex and hit. That's it. You can't convince me otherwise.
I don't think so.
That's how I see it. Like the whole idea of just... Then the guys that clapped, the born again people.
I've seen this. I've seen this.
Yeah. So yes, bringing up people like that, because the pastor was like, if some guy is doing a Rolex and winning world records, why can't we do it for Jesus?
Wait, did he actually say that?
That's what he said.
What? That's crazy.
So he got it from that. So there's that. Has that impacted you though? The fact that you have now a Guinness record, has it made some brought some extensive value?
I would say that the Rolex thing really helps you. It really helps with your branding. Yeah, it really helps with your branding and your. So basically, what it does is it validates your brand. If you're a guy that made a giant Rolex and you have a world record, really helps your brand, and it really helps it. And that's to say, when I say help your brand, it helps validate your brand and also gives you a lot of awareness because everyone's posting you and bro. That's the first time I'll never forget. That video changed my life. My life started changing after that video. Now you enter these offices and people know who you are.
Bro, I'm at the border and people know who you are. So I'm telling them, I have this camera is going to shoot with Raymond Kahuma. Like, oh my God. So it's like a pass. It's like that's the experience you had with that guy. Like we just mentioned, it's like, okay, cool. Come. I had to. So I was like, 6 people behind the line. So he has to mention that I'm creating some content with him. He's like the podcaster. He's going to shoot Raymond Kahuma. Then they call me. Then we have a whole conversation about your content.
No way.
The board has watched it. All those guys that are into those things, they've watched the content. They know about you. So it's nice.
This is nuts.
It's really dope stuff.
I love that. The people at the border, man. When I first came to Kenya, I wish they had known that. I wish they had watched my content before that because the border is
nasty. That's the word to say.
The border.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has changed.
It hasn't, but you are a pass for us. It hasn't. I'll say that. It hasn't. But people are just really excited. Oh, you're going to shoot with Kahuma? That's dope. That's dope. And then the conversation around the Kenyan themselves. Oh, yeah, sure. So the friends I was talking to in the bus were like, okay, yeah, we've watched that. Looking forward to your podcast for that. So that's the influence you
That's insane. Imagine that we're living in such a strange time that content could really change your life.
But it comes to the effort you're putting. So that can't go unnoticed, right? For the fact that, the border guy really knows both names, knows the channel, is looking out to see something else. Yeah. Speaking of which then,
before, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no.
So it changed my life in that aspect, but I've been getting this question also a lot. I've been getting that question a lot, and the way I like to think of it is this: the Guinness World Records. Obviously, I love you guys, man. But you see, it's the world record isn't as important as the story behind the world record. How many guys are attempting these world records now? Millions. So many. Even ones you haven't heard of. There's a world record happening today in Uganda. Yeah. I don't know if you know about it.
No.
So there's a woman, Mama D, shout out.
Yeah, I know Mama
that's
D.
doing
the cooking thing. Yeah,
she's attempting the longest. Yeah. There's so many people attempting these world records, and she messaged me and we've been going back and forth. I was like very supportive. She's supportive of me too. I was telling her, I was like, she asked me for some advice. I was telling her, document this. Like, you need to document this because everyone's gonna attempt. It's only gonna get more and more. Everyone's gonna attempt these world records. You could attempt a world record right now for holding the mic the longest, like things like that.
I'm going to do that.
But there has to be a reason why, and you need to tell people why. You need to document it, so because that'll live longer than your world record. You know, I did a world record recently for fastest time to make 3 chapatis, right?
Yeah.
In Kenya here. I wanted it to be my first Kenyan world record, and I wanted to lead to another world record, which I really, really want to do. So I wanted to tell people about that world record by doing this. But no one would care about it if you didn't document it. Like, you have to tell people why. People really love stories. Why are you doing this? Like, why should we care about your world record?
What was your why?
For which
for how many world records do you have?
Now I have one. I'm waiting for a response on the other, and I'm going to do a third one. But this third one is what's really important to me.
What's the why on the third one?
I don't know if I could tell you the third one, but wait, it depends. When this episode coming out?
Probably next year.
When
do you want it to come out?
If my video comes up, because my video is coming out in like maybe like a week and a half. If yours comes out after, I can say.
No, it will be after.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's after.
Okay, so basically, I want to do the world's largest. I haven't even said this anywhere, but like, okay.
And this will come out after, don't worry.
I want to do the world's largest smocha. So a smocha is basically the Kenyan equivalent of the Rolex, right? These guys love smochas. They love smochas almost actually more. Same to how we love Rolexes, right? But like, it's so near and dear to my heart because I feel like that's something that I could do that's unique. You know, I did the world's largest Rolex, the world's largest smocha just makes sense.
Wait, what's smocha in this case?
So a smocha, basically, a good question. A smocha is like it's a chapati, and a smoky is like a sausage. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen them, but they're everywhere here.
I've seen them. Then they put the spread.
Yes.
I think I've had one the last time I was in Nairobi.
Yes. So I really want to make that and push further that narrative of like, we need to make things at least if we're going to do this world record thing or content, I want us to make content that's unique to Africa. Our African record.
Going, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's make our African, because at the end of the day, you could do a world record and you could do all this stuff, but what does it matter at the end of the day? I would like to make something as unique to Africa for us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when you make world's largest Ugandan Rolex, only a Ugandan could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least culturally speaking, only a Ugandan could understand so I really want to make a Kenyan one. I feel like that would be a really good project, a really good video. I want to see if I could do it, if I could build a team to do all this stuff, how far that could go. And I know that video will go nuts.
So from Kenya, I see you going to Nigeria to do some there.
That is my original plan, but I might change it. I might just stay here for some time. This place, like, the love I get here is insane.
It's really insane, man. It starts from the border. For me, it's insane. It's insane. Like, everyone is like, so we're in the shops today. I was trying to like buy a memory card. And Antonio raised the point to like the creators. I was telling them, man, I also used to do my comedy in UG and maybe I was appreciated there. So I feel like that's like the trend with people, right? Kahuma is going to be appreciated in Kenya because then he's not Kenyan. How do you feel about that?
Okay, I hear that a lot. The Prophet is not
Were you getting the same support you feel you're getting from Kenya, from Ugandans?
It depends on how you're asking the same support, because via numbers, obviously, you're gonna get more in a bigger, because Kenyans are more, they use social media and they're a bigger population.
And the internet is good.
And we also have good internet, to be fair.
No.
By the way, I compared the prices. It's basically the same.
Even the prices? No.
I'm telling you, if you buy data on Safaricom, which I do every day, and you compare the price to
MTN. So the thing with MTN, it will
the same.
so fast. Then with Safaricom, you'd stay longer. I've experienced that.
I get that. There's a weird thing with that. I don't even know how it works. Like, they have a button that they push that let it go quick. But to answer your question about the support, I think, to be completely honest, I get the same support. People just care about good content. They care about effort. They care about good content and intentions, good intentions. That's what people care about. It's not to... I know what you mean. I know that quote that a prophet can only be a prophet will only be appreciated in... A prophet can never be appreciated in his hometown. I get that.
It's just like when we were kids, right? You'd feel like you're being loved more at your aunties, even though your parents love you more.
This market here, Kenya, is just different from everywhere else.
Okay.
And
it's just the market dynamics.
Yeah, because these guys are these guys are so switched on. I don't even think South Africa. I think South Africa might be the only market that competes with these people in terms of that being switched on. Like, everyone's on the internet. Everyone knows what's happening. Everyone knows what's going on. Nigeria as well switched. What I was saying. I think that I get appreciated in both countries, man. It'll be so dishonest for me to say I'm more loved in one area, which I like. I really like the fact that as Africans I think we're very supportive. I see a lot of tweets and stuff saying, no, Africans, Kenyans will say, Kenyans, we hate on Kenyans. Ugandans don't like Ugandans. We don't like to push up Uganda. Like, even Nigerians say that Nigerians don't put that. I'm like, no. I think we support each other decently, and I think we support each other enough.
Like we get the support.
As long as you're not stepping on people's toes, you're not making offensive content, you're putting in effort, people will support you. And if they don't, I guess if they don't support you, I guess I don't know if that's a thing. But if you didn't feel like you're being supported, either maybe change up a few things, try and learn from people ahead of you that you feel are getting the support you require, see what people want to watch, appeal to that in your own way, and move if you can, move around, see what the different markets have to offer.
Yeah, I've seen you do that, right? I have seen you look and recreate a few YouTube concepts, speed dating Africa and stuff like that. Why did you stop? I feel like that was going to be a niche too. I thought at some point the vision could have probably been to sell it to like multi-choice. And
why did I stop speed dating Africa? A few reasons. Firstly, why I started it was because I thought it was easy content. Just get your friends and like film some dating stuff, edit it nicely, make it organic. Don't fake it too much, But why I stopped doing it? Oh, and it did really well. Actually, that Speed Dating Africa was the video that really I ever noticed that took off on my channel. That's the first, because I used to post videos. They'd be going crazy in Uganda, but crazy in Uganda at that time was like 1,000 views, 2,000 views on YouTube, 2,000 views. If it's really good, it's 5,000 views. That would blow my mind. Like, damn, this is going crazy. When I posted Speed Dating Africa, that got 30,000 views. I was like, what? 30,000 Bro, 30,000 views in Uganda, at least in 2021.
That's crazy.
That might go trending. Like, that might be on the trending page on YouTube. And it was trending on Twitter, #1. It was everywhere. So why I stopped it was, I like switching ideas. Like, because it's just me doing this content. So I like doing ideas that interest me at that time. That I don't want to imagine doing the same video over and over again. Like doing the same podcast about the same topic over and over and over again. So the dating thing, how much nuance can there be? I respect people that
it's time, right?
Yeah, I respect people that are able to do one type of content over and over again. There's a lot of discipline that you have to have. I respect it. That hustle is crazy. But it's just not for me to keep doing the same. I can only do something like twice before I'm over it.
Do you feel like content creators, especially within Africa, should need to be audacious and push boundaries to achieve success?
I think everyone on this planet needs to be audacious and push boundaries to achieve success. You don't have to do that to achieve success.
Is this what you're doing by now, Kenyan?
Yes, okay. To go back to the other point, I don't think you have to do that to achieve success, but it's very fulfilling to do it. You could just do whatever and find success in this life. You don't have to push boundaries, but it's very fulfilling. You never want to be stuck in a system. Unfortunately, that's the way the world is. A lot of us are stuck within these confines.
Matrix.
Guys, this is what I call living life outside the matrix. No, you don't have to. I think that it would be good to do it. And in our field in Africa here, especially in content creation, I think it's nice to see different stuff. Everyone's attracted to different things. I almost never watch YouTube if I've seen something like it, I never watch it. We can do different stuff. And by the way, I like to think of it like this. When I don't have ideas for video, because everything has already been done, the people in the US, England, they've already done all these ideas. But how I think of it is like this. If you are lacking in an idea, just look at it like math. It's more likely that the ideas are closer to infinity than to zero. Here's zero, here's infinity. The ideas are more. Most things haven't been done. You know what I mean?
I feel like.
Do you think most things have been done? But if you think about it,
yes.
If you think about
it, been done.
Yeah. If you think about it,
it's more. If you did a world record on Rolex, then it really proves the fact that most things
haven't been done. Because it's similar to something that has been done in the US, but any small spin to it will
tweak it.
Yeah, it's unique
experience.
Yeah. As long as you're not copying exact same thing. let's say someone films, Mr. Beast does, I built 100 wells around the world. As long as you're not building again 100 wells, just do something different. You could even build one well, but make it different. Or build something else.
One well different, like a house on it this time.
Yeah, something different, beneficial to the community in another way, or in a different way, or you're the one that builds the well, you are one guy. That would be different. There's infinite ideas.
Do you feel like there's some emerging trends in content creation that are exciting you now? Say from like the African space, can you like identify stuff that you look at and like, okay, this is a bit unique. It's just not, because what people do really are podcasts, right? Most creators. I don't see a lot of apart from comics, right? And people who are doing comedy and just wanting to make you laugh and stuff. You wouldn't see a new idea. You know when you see a guy maybe break a car and turn it into one oven or something like that.
Okay. Do I think that there's
or if you have any exciting trends you've noticed and you can share those.
Exciting trends? I would say right now what I'm witnessing is a lot of brand partnerships. I think a lot of the content I'm seeing is not a lot, but a big percentage of content that I'm seeing now is geared towards brands. It's like branded content. Like this company has sponsored it. Especially here in Kenya. There's a lot of branded content. It's very little organic content. You know what I mean? And that is right. That's rightfully so, because the only way to make money here, realistically, in Africa, is to do branded content. So what I'm seeing, even today, yesterday, like a lot of the creators I see are doing a lot of branded content, which is, I like the content, but sometimes it also feels like, bro, like, where's the organic?
Exactly. Let's go to your video, the one at the Oktoberfest. I felt like since it was already sponsored, it was a little bit away from you. You had to keep mentioning that sponsor.
The sponsor.
Then okay, there was that part of when you get into the matatu and people are a little bit uncomfortable, but you're still doing, big up on that, by the way. You're like a pastor. You know those pastors when you come in the bus and they stand up to like preach to guys from different.
I think obviously it's very difficult to do branded content. Shout out to everyone that's crushing me with that. And shout out to them for even getting in that place, in that position for the first place. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. With my case with Oktoberfest and working with EADL, shout out EADL, by the way. I don't know if I'm allowed to shout out, but I wouldn't take the. I don't know that I'd take the brand deal if it was too far removed from me. Like EADL, I'd already done blankets and wine in Uganda. I done blankets and wine in Kenya. So they saw that video and they were like, "Oh, you should also do Oktoberfest." Blah blah blah. I was like, "This is easy. You're getting paid. You're getting paid to have fun and make content, which I like." Like,
yeah, but I felt like okay.
Or the fact that I had to keep reminding it.
Yeah, like I don't have a problem with that. Probably that was like a KPI, but I'm saying. So how Rogan does, right? If he's going to like say run an ad, will either pause or maybe because he also looks for like sponsors that are into his thing, right? It's either they're fitness guys. So in the conversation, maybe he's hosting like a fitness guy, then they will talk about something, then you'll recommend a product, but that's being paid for. Or maybe at the end, right? And because you're sure you have all this following, so you'll put it there. Like Lexi Friedman, my man podcast, I listen to so many. What he does, he just stops, then runs the ad.
I know what you're talking about. They have like a break.
Exactly, for just that. But then let the whole thing flow as is. Yeah, like let Raymond Kahuma do what Raymond does, then just maybe like.
Okay, so for shorter form, I get that for longer form content. It's better for you to tell to make it clear to your community that this here is the ad break. You can continue forward to this timestamp if you don't want to listen to the ad. I get that. But for shorter form content, like the MrBeast, it needs to be intertwined with the content. In fact, we're moving more towards that.
Yeah.
We need, like, for us, we're trying to make it so that the ad is part of the content. So that you don't even feel like it's an ad.
It's an ad, yeah.
So I keep referencing MrBeast because everyone watches him. But like for him, his ads, you cannot skip the ad because it is part of the content. He'll do like an ad for one of these companies like Brawl Stars or whatever. He'll do an ad for them that let's say they're in a contest. He'll make sure that the ad has to do with that. Like the contestant is moving from one part to another. Within that movement, that's where he'll put the ad. He's like, oh, so you move from here to there, but don't shout out. They give us, oh, keep moving, keep moving. Then he continues the ad. He goes back to the video, continues the ad. So in 2 minutes, he's intertwined the ad, and like, so we're going more towards that as short form content creators because it benefits both parties. The brand feels like their ad has been organically induced, like put in the video, and
that's
cool. And the audience exactly, and the audience doesn't feel like it's an ad. It doesn't feel like they had to stop to watch this boring ad and then continue. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What do you think about TikTok?
Into
the content space. I've also not seen you really
do TikTok. Yeah. Again, like I really try to do things that I think I can scale because
I feel like isn't TikTok like the fastest way you can scale? Like guys are on there with gigantic numbers from nowhere.
Yeah, but then the numbers lead to what? Because
awareness.
Yes, but then awareness to do what?
To get you more money in the brand.
How? Okay, so basically, this is what I mean. Yeah. So you asked me what do I think about TikTok. I'm a YouTuber, right? So between those two, YouTube and TikTok, you're asking me why did you pick YouTube? What do you think about TikTok?
Yeah.
This is what now. Let me present to you my options. You have YouTube, where it'll pay you for your viewership, right? The YouTube Partner Program, it'll pay you for every single person that watches. It'll give you a whatever amount, right? So you get paid in direct proportion to how many people view your content. What affects how many people view your content? How good it is, the effort you put in, how many videos you're putting out. You know? That's everything I've said there.
Yeah.
Is directly within your ability. It's a direct result of your efforts. You know what I mean? Now TikTok at the moment in Africa, you can only make money through brand sponsorships. Yeah. The TikTok Creator Fund isn't really open to Africans at the moment, as far as I know.
It's not. Just like Twitter, right?
Just fun.
I don't know about Kenya, but it's not open to UG. So you guys have to like do the VPN thing and
okay, because I see people reporting their payments.
Yeah, but they have to like pretend they are living in the US or something.
Okay, Facebook as well. Anyway, so basically the problem with TikTok is if the only way you can make money as a TikToker in Africa is through brands, is that under your control? Can you you can post a lot of videos and they could get millions of views and you could get millions of followers, but whose decision is it to take you on?
The brand.
You need to.
But the brand will look at the numbers, right?
Yes, but still, how many TikTokers have numbers? How many videos? Yeah, it's at the end of the day, if you look at it logically, which one is in your control? Yeah. So I like to focus on YouTube, because a brand deal, at least as far as I know, you make more money in a brand deal than a YouTube video. But what's smarter for you to do? You need to focus on things that are your sphere of control. That's how I see it. As a creator in Africa, you're better off investing your time in things that you can control. You can control how many videos you put out, how good they are, how much research you put into will people watch this. Obviously, you don't know how well it will do, but you will get the YouTube paycheck at the end of the day, guaranteed. You know? You'll grow to 1,000 followers, get into the YouTube Partner Program, and get the check at the end of the day. TikTok, I have so many TikTok examples of people that have large following. But you will get like one brand deal in like 3 months. Or you could get 10 brand deals in 1 month, and then the next month there's none. It's inconsistent, you know? But if you're realistically speaking, you can always invest in yourself. YouTube seems more like an investment in yourself. You know what I mean? And that's just a money perspective. There's also growth. There's also that, okay. To me, it seems like YouTube is the best chance you have as a creator to become like a real star. Like an actual superstar. You could have actual fans on YouTube. Not to say that TikTok and Instagram you can, but people on YouTube, you give them the chance to actually get to know you. You know what I mean?
I know.
And podcasting as well. Podcasting, you could talk for, and people could really, podcasts, like the podcast I listen to on YouTube as I watch, I know them, bro. I know them. Even if the guy entered the room, I could tell if this guy is in his mood or not. I know his schedule. I know what he does. Like Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman posts his whole schedule. I watched that video. I know what he does.
Yeah.
I know how he wakes. I know what time he wakes up. I know he has meetings and that. And this is some guy.
I hear you.
On TikTok, you could do the same thing. There's people that also post their daily schedules and that. But in a minute, in like
I'm
30
seeing another
seconds.
schedule, so maybe they're more interested.
Yeah, and TikTok, like the whole scrolling thing. If I watch their schedule, yes, yeah,
you will see that these guys watched a 3-hour conversation. Watched it.
Yes.
80%.
On YouTube, you have to make that commitment. You have to press the button that I want to watch this video. On TikTok, it'll just come two, and you'll forget about it. I can't even tell you what TikToks I watched yesterday. And then I watched them. I can't even tell you what I watched, but I'm not hating on any particular. Everything has its pros and cons. TikTok has its pros and cons. YouTube has its pros and cons. But to me, I really just try and make not the safest bet, but the smartest bet. I'm better off betting on YouTube.
Totally. I've actually never really been in a position where someone has solidified that thinking to me than now.
Yeah.
Like I now really see that there's a reason I'm actually really YouTube. I see that TikTok, like right at the guys we work with, they put these clips everywhere, and you get satisfied, get interested in the numbers on TikTok. You'll be like, okay, maybe I have now as TikTok, but it's just never that interesting. Like, the guy on YouTube makes sense. One guy YouTube just has one comment, but then a guy sends you an email on like a podcast. Searching like this guy's really
into the thing. You could have, and even on TikTok, you could have real fans because of the numbers, just by numbers. Like, if you got 100 million views in a month, you've been getting millions of views. You're gonna have people that really like you. They like your comedy, But at the end of the day, you have to make a living. You have to convert these people.
Let's talk about YouTube money. Are you making enough money from YouTube?
No, not nearly enough. Like, and then I assume you mean enough.
I'm saying is what you have. Are you getting back what you've invested?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Because, and like, people ask this question, I don't even care about sharing it. Like, it's just a reality of things. I like to be straightforward, okay? If anyone's watching this video and you want to be a YouTuber, at the moment, and also that I'm fully to blame for how it's doing, because I don't post that much content. I like to really make very good videos. If it's not what I want, I'm not going to post it.
I've seen.
I'll work on it every day, but I won't post it until it's done. The sound, I won't compromise that. I won't compromise the quality. I won't compromise the idea. But basically, on YouTube in Africa, if you make 100,000 views, which a few people do, but I just want to give like a standard. If you make 100,000 views on a video in Africa, I've compared with my friends. This is just a range, okay? YouTube, don't be mad at me, but you basically make around $100. It's not allowed, by the way, to share what you make. So that's not what I make, but that's a general how much people will make. I'm allowed to say that.
Right.
So yeah, 100,000 views, $100. How many people make 100,000 views? What do you have to do to get 100,000 views? You have to be crazy, Kenna. You have to be Flacco. You have to be,
Raymond Kahuma.
I don't know. But you tell me, what does that sound like to you? I like to get people's perspective. But does that justify the...
No.
Now, in comparison, I have a friend who, his YouTube, right? He was telling me he posts for... Where does he post for? I think he posts for like Europe. Yeah, Europe. Mm-hmm. Is it Europe? I don't know why I have LA in mind. One of my friends anyway. He was telling me that he posted a video that also got 100,000 views. He made $1,500. Because the CPMs are different. Like you'll get paid for US eyeballs will be different from Uganda eyeballs will be different.
How is that? I had this conversation today.
Yep.
Today. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly today I had the conversation. Like, how is it that if me and you, if you're in the US and I have 1 million views, and you have 1 million views, and I'm in Uganda and I have 1 million views, we'll still not make
the same money?
Yeah.
Advertisers don't really. Okay, so it comes
down
to the
YouTube itself.
So it comes down to the market.
Yeah.
So we have to understand, how does YouTube make their money? YouTube makes their money from advertising. So Jumia, whatever, whoever is advertising, have to pay Google a certain amount, and then Google splits that among the creators where your ad is being. So Jamia has an offer. It runs on the podcast channel. Okay, if people watch that to a certain mark, they'll charge me that man guy. This guy watched this amount from this ad or this channel or giving this creator. YouTube takes 55%. You take 45%, right? So that's how YouTube makes money, and that's how you make money as a creator as well. The people watching your ads. The problem is advertisers are most advertisers with money are looking for the US
market.
Yeah, like Verizon, these US company, they're marketing to the US. Those are people with money. And the US market is very competitive, right?
Yes.
US market is very competitive, so there's gonna be way more advertisers vying for those views. So now you see now the price increases. Me, I have if Verizon is offering $1, AT&T will offer $1.50. Like that. So the price keeps going up for the US view. But Uganda, where people are now, the reason they're fighting for those US views, the US companies are US people are at least advertisers think that they're more credit card, like they buy things. They purchase things on the internet. They're more likely to buy things on the internet. So because they're a bigger market, everything. And Uganda or Africa in general is people don't really not yet. They're not at the level of the US where they buy things like where the market is as valuable in quote unquote. So yeah, advertisers just want those views more, so they'll spend more money there, and that's why creators make more money there. Their audience is just more valuable to these brands, which it really hurts, but like
that's it.
That's what it is. The market doesn't care about how you feel. They just want results.
Do you feel like for you to... So I was reading the Instagram report, right, for 2023. So Instagram still insists for you to make it big, you have to be in the USA. The same thing, right?
That's what they said?
Yeah, and I think people, like, they really put a graph. Like Africa, Asia, blah, 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 Europe. Like still people posting from Europe, first of all, will still get the most engagement. Even if... okay, the number thing also played, right? There are more people that time. But then it also said their content, more advertisers look out for specifically models from the USA. So there's that as well. Do you feel like that would be like your end goal to go and start creating on the USA? Because that's where MrBeast also comes from.
I get that, and I can understand why most people would think that, but to be honest, not really.
You want to be big with Africa, right?
Yeah, again, I'm not to say that is my only goal, but I like to see things logically. Like, where's the gap here? Like, where could I make? How do I stand out here? As I could see now, there's a very big opportunity for me here in Africa. There's an opportunity. I could take the same thing I do to SA, and I could be confident that it will still stand out, at least in some regard. I could go to Lagos and it will still stand out. Because I'm telling African stories from an African perspective.
Yeah. African
jokes. I have like a Kenyan accent, I have a Ugandan accent, I have like SA accent, I can do a Lagos accent. They said it's not like a real one, but I want to try it. But nah, this is my accent, Kabisa. You guys told me that's
I like that.
But you have to pronounce the R. It's like road. They say road. They say
yeah. They make the first letter thick, right?
Yeah,
you hear it.
But then Ugandans it's like the end of the sentence that people emphasize. But then Kenyans it's like I don't even know. But yeah, I could do like anyway. So back to what I was saying. I like this. Right now, I'm really trying to just stand out in Africa. You know what I am? Look at what
I've seen him.
Look what he's done. If he didn't try and establish his base here in Africa first, it would be a different story. There was such a big opportunity for someone to shine a light on Africa and show how Africa is to the rest of the world. That's the whole motto. And he's crushed it. He's still crushing it. People love him. Wodema is the biggest star I've ever seen, that I've ever met.
You also must be really inspiring that you can now collaborate with him.
It is crazy. Sometimes he calls me, I call him, which is nuts. Shout out with Maya, by the way. I appreciate you. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, like that guy is like a mega star.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that guy, bro, YouTube is beautiful. Like you could be a real star on YouTube. When you're like, Wodemaya will get recognized in every single country.
Yeah.
But let's say like if you're like a big musician here in Uganda, if you go to literally the next country,
That's it.
people might not even know you. You know? So like there's a big opportunity for what I'm saying is there's a big opportunity. There was a big opportunity for someone to just take it into their own hands to just show these African stories and yeah.
Okay. So one of the grand questions is do you have like a plan? What's like your plan? Or generally, how do you feel? What do you think is the plan to stay relevant?
Relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know about relevant. I don't really care about that, but
Man, it should matter though. Like my biggest scare is that like, okay, I don't even think like I'm relevant. But yeah, I feel like I could also just really get bored, man, stuff. Maybe if I start making like bank from it, I feel like in the future I might prioritize something else that is making me to the bank. Yeah. But I have some projects with Antonio on planning that seem to maybe in the future they could consume more of my time.
That podcast. Again, it goes back to me to where you see this going, what your goal is, where you see it going. Is there a space for this? How's it doing? Is this making financial sense? Da da da. I think it comes down to that. To answer what my plan is, at the moment the numbers are really looking good, man, on YouTube. My original plan when I came here, I haven't really said this anywhere. I don't know. I don't know if it's useful. Okay. But when I came here originally, my plan was to do Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, Lagos, Egypt, like now, bigger markets first, and then you move to like the second and the third, like that. Because from a numbers perspective, it makes sense, right? When I came here, that was my plan when I came here. I didn't think that Kenya views would be like that. Like I didn't think that the YouTube channel would blow up, bro. So I met someone from TikTok. I met someone that works in TikTok, right? I met someone that works in TikTok, right? I told him that plan. I told him because he's in TikTok. I don't know if I can say this, but he works in TikTok, right?
You probably won't say this.
Where's TikTok? I told him that he was like, bro. Let me say this in the way I might be allowed to say it. He was like, bro, trust me. Just focus on Kenya. If you could just focus on Kenya, if you could get a big enough following here, you're good.
I've been told that, right? I have been told that.
I don't know if I can say the real reason, by the way, but he gave me the reason. Maybe I'll tell you off. But
okay.
Kenya. If you could focus on Kenya, you're good.
But is that invisible? Like everyone that wants to invest in Africa will land it.
But you don't know that if you're not here. I didn't even know that, and I'm a neighbor. I didn't even know Kenya was like that. And even when you're in, like, what it blows my mind, even Kenyan, like the Kenyans,
they don't know.
Yeah, like,
because whenever I say Antonio is a bit surprised, like, nah, man, like, well, okay, we'll do something, but he's not as interested in Kenya than like I am.
Whenever I meet Kenyans, I look at them, I'm like, bro, I wish you could appreciate what you have here, bro. You guys are in the best country on the planet right now. To me, when I look at the opportunity to blow up right now, it's Kenya. I don't even care, bro. Because India, they're already in there. Yeah. India's like at the top of they've already blown up and their population's up. Internet's cheap as hell. Everything. People are very hardworking. Love India, everything. Same with Pakistan. Same with the US. They're at the top. But Kenya is now experiencing that boom. They're now in there. Kenya's on the rise. It's not yet at its peak potential. It's getting to Kenya's about to become something else, bro. They're all Kenya is I think right now is the best market to be in. So yeah, he told me, bro, just focus on Kenya. If you could get that, you're good. You don't even need to do any other business. Bro, you see Kenyans are
I hope you're listening.
This place is where you need to be. And a lot of this stuff I can't really say.
We'll record and you'll
but
just like a big
but Kenya is where you need to be. Like this place, people, there's something different about the people here, and you can never really explain it to people. You can't really.
You have to experience.
You have to experience it. People here are switched on. I don't know why it's so different from the rest of us, but people here are so switched on. And these guys, especially in my field, like content creation, do you know this is the only country on the planet where guys can meet the governor? Content creators can meet the governor. He calls them for meetings at his office. They have actual podcasts with the governor. Like they sit down and they see how to help content creators.
Even the president is really invested in.
The president, the first week I came here, the president invited the top content creators to State House.
He's invested.
No cameras were allowed. Everything. Which other country does that happen in? Not even the States.
True.
Name one? Not even the States. They waive the fees for content creators.
You just do it on
You cannot bother a content creator here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
That's. I was gonna do a video on it.
You can't be bothered, right? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, in Uganda, it's like
maybe drones.
In Uganda,
my own issues have been coming with flying a drone.
Okay, in most countries, you really can't be flying drones for security purposes.
Yeah.
But you see, even in Uganda, it's very similar to Kenya that no one will bother you for the content creation thing. But even still, then you'll have a bit of a better time here. And I just like to be honest.
Yeah, that's
you'll have a bit of a better time because people will look at you and be super supportive. Guys will come up to you and be like, "What are you recording? Could you be in the video? Like, can I subscribe?" Every time I'm recording, people are like, "Who?" They don't even know you, but they're like, "What are you doing?"
I went to buy a memory card today. So guys asking me, "Oh, what camera are you gonna use?" And I'm trying to explain. So I need like a fast card. This one work. At the end of the day, it's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just recording a podcast." Again, I mentioned you, so he gets excited. He already knows. Then he asked for my podcast. In the shop is subscribing. A Ugandan will even go to your channel. Be like, "Man, 1 hour, 2 hours." And I want like a lump sum of excuses.
To me, I think we'll get there. Like, obviously, shout out to Uganda. We'll get there. But this place right now for content creation, the numbers are. I could talk about the numbers for like 10 hours. Did you know? Let me blow your mind. Did you know Diamond posted his numbers? Diamond Platinum. He posted his numbers for his YouTube stream. He posted them in like maybe July, whatever for the year. From July to July. Mm-hmm. He posted his numbers on his Instagram. Jesus Christ. The way I've been hearing that Diamond's like, I don't know if you've heard about how he is in Tanzania, but he's not just a superstar in Tanzania. It's something different, bro.
He's an African superstar.
He is huge. He's a god. No, bro, it's different, bro. You'll never understand. He's like the largest figure you could imagine. In Tanzania, he reigns supreme. Like, everything. He posted his numbers. And I was like, obviously, like, Diamond, I expect to see, like, like Tanzania, 100 million. Yeah. Maybe after that, maybe Kenya, like, 20 million. Maybe Uganda, 5. Like, bro, Kenya had way more YouTube views than any other country on Diamond's YouTube, like, his views. I was like, what? How is that possible?
He's also very unique with how like he strategizes with youth. I feel like the showbiz play he did. So he did the thing: go to Uganda, get the toppest person in showbiz, marry them off. He did the same with Kenya. Came to Kenya.
Did he?
Yeah. Tanasha, that's her name. She's Kenyan. Still created around that showbiz around here, made sure that this market really appreciates him. Yeah.
I don't know if that's enough to make a career. I don't know that it's
like guys will still
everyone will be doing this. No, that's what everyone will be doing. But to drive the other point home, like you'd expect that Diamond would be getting more of his viewership from
Tanzania.
It's Kenya. And there's another artist that also posted their viewership. Bro, it's nuts. Kenya is nuts. Hey, this place is crazy. Like, even
and you will achieve that. From the look of things, it looks like from the border guy can notice. Kenya is like, "Oh, you're going to okay, let's just pass."
Bro, I love it, man. Obviously I don't really talk about this too much, but like the attention you get from doing the YouTube is very unique.
Agreed.
It's very unique, like at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
Hey, people just know you. They know what you're up to. They know you. Like, anyway, yeah. So basically, Kenya is nuts. I think this is the place right now to be if you're trying to do content creation. If you're trying, and a lot of venture capitalism, finance people, also a lot of tech.
Yeah.
A lot of they call this now
the tech hub.
It's called. There's a name for it. It's called the Silicon Valley. It's like Silicon Savannah. That's its name. I saw this presentation the other day from the U.S. ambassador to Kenya. This lady, I think she was. She's also like a billionaire. The U.S. whatever. Bro, she gave this presentation about Kenya and why it's ahead and why everyone's coming here. You need to see this thing. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I would say it.
It went viral on TikTok. She gave statistics on this place.
Okay.
This place is almost worth taking a risk. I am not telling anyone to do anything, but this place is almost worth taking a risk. Every company is here. Microsoft has headquarters here. Google has headquarters. No, not headquarters, but like offices. Has offices here. What? Bro, this, like, there's nothing like this place.
What's like your future of technology in Africa? And how do you think to benefit creators?
My future of technology?
Yeah, well, what's your vision, for the future?
How it benefits creators?
Yeah.
How do you mean? Like in a technical aspect, like cameras?
Technical, no, from like Twitter not doing the payment thing for like Africa, things like that.
People are very smart. People are smart, and markets force things to work. So markets kind of force the way. So basically, what I mean by that is people will find out what works eventually. One of us is gonna find, because I don't know if you know, but Crazy Kenna just had this show. He's one of the biggest acts in Africa here. Yeah. On YouTube, on TikTok, on.
And he's just started, right? It feels like it's not even a year of.
He's young. He's in his 20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Also, like experience. I don't think the age really matters. Like, but you feel like I've known Crazy Kenna this year, and he's been so big in my mind this year. Like, you get it, right?
Yeah. He had this.
So when I was looking at his red card, I was like, wow, I've just known this person. Like, why?
He's just been here. Yeah. He did this. He's so brilliant. He had this show the other week. He had this show, and someone was explaining to me why the comedians on YouTube, it's like the Alex Mahanji, those guys, why they are the only people that are successful on YouTube right now, the only people that manage to make it sustainable. They found a way to monetize their communities, and that's our biggest issue. So the Twitter not paying us, TikTok not paying us. We can't do anything with like, what am I supposed to do about that? Okay. And it's not to say that you can just move markets to the States. Now you're just moving to the States. You know? Now you're gonna play with that crowd and deal with its own. Yeah, now you're gonna deal with its own issues. You're just moving from one thing to another. You're not really changing them. So, but if you're hardworking and you have a strategy, it could work. But the comedians, they found a way to monetize the community. Now they sell physical tickets to these shows weekly or whatever, and they make a lot of money doing that. They can now fund the content creation with the money that they make from these tickets for the comedy shows. Now the rest of us, especially me, my biggest thing is how I'm going to monetize it. You know, because it's not that easy. Okay, it's not like you can just
idea now, but in your mind, this is the direction. Have you like formed sense of purpose in the creations you're making?
Have I found sense of purpose? Yeah, I would say this is what I'm meant to do. This is just my thing. This is the key to everything else for me. This is what opens the doors to like everything I want. Movies, president. Do whatever you want. Now it's about attention and like the numbers and how many people really like your brand. You know, look at The Rock. You guys want The Rock to be president. This is the guy that started from WWE, movies, Look at him now. He could do whatever he wants. He has this brand of tequila. He has this, So for me, this is my strategy right now. Even if it doesn't make financial sense at the moment, I'm willing to take a risk. Let me push it and see how far it goes. And there's no point at which I give up. One of my favorite quotes. Obviously the money is brutal. It's brutal. I've never been. There's never a month.
This episode is very expensive. Like,
you guys have to come here.
You have to come here. You have to pay for this stuff. You have to do what? Exactly.
And how are you gonna make the money? When people in town ask you how you're gonna make the money, but you don't really have an answer.
That's it. You never have an answer.
You're just kind of hoping that at some point. For me, I don't know what to tell people. I just smile and tell them it doesn't make any money because it doesn't. You know, if you make, I had my most viewed video right now was when I was trying fast food. No, street food.
Street food
In Kenya. It has like, I don't know why it's going viral again this week, but it's going viral. It has like 500,000 views, right? On that 500,000 views, you're making. Okay, according to what I told you guys before, let's say you're making $500 from it.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do the next video? Because that $500 has just paid. All it's done is just paid for it. What about the next one? Where are you gonna get that money from? What about paying a videographer? What about this? The camera breaks. Maybe buying another camera. The laptop has an issue. You have to fix it. You have to the mic, all this stuff. It doesn't make any financial sense at the moment for me because of my form of content. I might switch.
That man's making money
though. Shout out. But yeah, it doesn't make too much financial sense right now, but obviously there's things you could do about that. You could change your format. Like, I don't know if you know who Kai Cenat is.
No.
Okay. A lot of people now are moving in the US. They're moving from vlogs, like what I do, towards Twitch.
Yeah.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Because that's lower barrier to entry. You don't need as much money. You don't need to move out of the house to go and film this crazy content. Sit down. But now it has its own issues. Sit down, turn on the camera, 12 hours, you're gonna sit down and just talk to people. You're gonna stream for 12 hours every day. So a lot of people are moving towards that. Because the good thing about that is it's lower barriers to entry, you need less stuff, you need less people involved in your content, you just sit down and talk to the camera. Your fans are the ones that make clips from the dumb stuff you say. You're reacting to music videos. Joshua Barker just released whatever. React to that. The president said this. React to that. Like kind of like Andrew Kibe. React to that. React. And with time, in 12 months, you're now the biggest star. Everyone cares about your opinion. Da, da, da. I would switch to something like that because right now my content takes a lot to make. But for me, even doing that isn't justified because my YouTube doing really well right now. Like I need to focus on what's working. So yeah, I feel really passionate about it. I'm convinced it's my purpose. And there's a saying, like the only time you ever lose is when you quit.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I don't like saying losing, but the only time you lose is when you quit. Just don't quit. Just stick to it and keep going. I give myself these pep talks every morning, bro, because it's so demanding. But also the love I be getting these videos. I only have 4 videos here in Kenya. But the love I get are great. Like every time I step out of the house. Every time.
I've just told you, it's really great. Everywhere out in the country. This is a really big country.
This is a big country, man. How many people could say that, like, just 4 videos? People work their whole lives.
I know.
You know? So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. Like, I have this thing inside my head. I'm like, I don't want to let these people down. Like, I don't want to let my Ugandans down that put me on. I don't want to let Kenyans down. So I really try to make the best stuff. I can't post content that I don't think is up to this. Yeah.
So the man asks, what is like your process like to create content?
It's simple. The process to make the content is simple.
But you're also really very involved, right? Like you do the technical bits, the editing. How has that been with developing your skills, just adjusting to all this stuff? Like
I would say it's not with content creation, it's not too much that okay, for me, for how I'm making content right now. I formulate the idea. I just think about the idea. I'm like, fast food would really do well in Kenya. People love food. It's okay. I like simple ideas at the moment. Mm-hmm. I'm not too big on like giant Rolex. I'm not too big on that right now. I like simple ideas. Like something that people could just see and click. Something people could just see instantly and understand. So I did a video where I sent food to space. 30 kilometers to space. And then I did a video where I did fast food in Kenya. The viewership is drastically different. But which idea is more exciting?
sending food to space.
It's way more exciting, but it's not for people for the ordinary person to understand.
Yeah, okay. So
When they see when they see a video like this guy sending food to space, what do they think? Like it's so unrelatable that they think is this. No, they think it's like fake. They think it's fake. What to space? Like it's not like a NASA thing. What do you mean? They can't understand it by just seeing the title, and it's not exciting enough to click.
Yeah.
At least it's not convincing enough to click. But when you say I tried every single fast food in Kenya, Kenya, that means Kenyan people are excited about that. Even people that are not Kenyan, they want to see what's in Kenya.
Yeah.
What's in Kenya? Every single fast food. That's like a big idea. So you're trying to let's see what this guy is saying. Like let's see what the fast food. They don't even click for you. It's just they click for the food, but then they stay for you. So I like it has to be. I don't even touch ideas that are not simple now. I want the simplest version of an idea, but I do it really well. So I have this idea for a TikTok series that I'm gonna do soon. I wanna do a small chap. I told you a small chat. I want to every no one copy this idea before I do it, but feel free. Actually, don't feel free. But I want to do a series like a daily series on TikTok where I eat a small chat every day.
Yeah.
But every day I double the number of chapatis and smokies. So I wanted to get to a crazy level where it's like, guys, today's day 4.
Chapati.
We're eating 10 chapatis, 10 smokies. Then the next day, guys, today is 10-5. Today is day 5. We're eating 20 chapos, 20 smokies. Today, day 6, 50. Then until we get to the point that we're eating 100 chapos with like 100 smokies. I'm so excited to do that one. But again, the reason I'm a bit hesitant on that is I'm going to spend the money and the time. TikTok. Where's the money? I need to make this sustainable. You know what I mean?
So, can't you like make one long form thing for YouTube for all the days?
But then I've been struggling to see how to make that exciting on YouTube. What do I title that? I don't know what to title it. I don't know how to make it.
Okay, it really can only work with TikTok, really.
Yeah.
You break it down for Twitter for just maybe exposure.
Yeah.
People, and Instagram. Because then in the report, that is also the only way you can build engagement now. So Instagram is saying having followers doesn't really matter from its analytics. So it's what are people coming to do, right? So, and I come from the marketing world, and this is something we're doing with like, companies. So instead of just posting a Chibana and you do some copy there, which you can probably now just get from a large language model, you just have to like do a web series, right? Something people can just follow up on.
Yes.
10 best ways to build in Uganda. Then you start maybe buy land, the process, then you go to financing. So like something people are just going to like day 1, weigh on this, day 2, weigh on this, day 3, weigh on this. And that's what makes sense.
I agree. No one really cares about the following anymore. It's so useless. I don't know why. Like, I don't even think people care anymore. But I agree. Like, and back to my point. How I formulate the ideas, I try and make simple content that I can film. Now I edit alone. I have a videographer here in Kenya, so we film together. We have fun doing it. I edit and then put it out. Next thing like that. But I think I'm gonna focus on YouTube for now. YouTube's the only one that's currently paying the boy.
Okay, so I think this is like second last question. Explore the ethical considerations of influencer marketing and sponsorships in the African context.
What do you mean?
Like,
explore the ethical
considerations. Like, will DSTV give you a job because you have grades? Things like that. Do you have to bleed up the F words, yet that's the actual crowd you're communicating to? Things like that.
Okay, so
as an influencer,
my message is very simple. I think if you're being authentic, your authentic self, you're gonna attract a crowd that likes that. If you're a guy that cusses a lot, if you're a guy that has whatever your brand is, you're a good guy, let's say you're a good boy, you'll attract people naturally that like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're Ugandan, post Ugandan content, you're going to attract Ugandans that like that, or people that like that.
Yeah.
You know? So, I would say that be your authentic self. If you're going to be your authentic self, you're going to attract that. And likewise, you're going to attract brands that want to deal with that. So, I don't really care about the DSTV, giving me a contract because that doesn't matter. You don't have no control over that again. Are you going to go and beg them? guys, I really want a contract. No, do the content that you like and do it really well that will attract a big enough audience that people care about you. So you're gonna attract instead of PSC, you're gonna attract if you have dreads and you're talking about dread content, you will attract people that like watching that, and you'll attract brands that want to. You'll attract hair companies. Yeah. No one cares about trying to pander. People really don't like inauthentic like content. The people can tell when you're pandering to them. They can tell when you're lying to them. They can tell when you're not being genuine. So yeah, to anyone that wants to know about the ethical, just be yourself. Be yourself and just be. Don't obviously mess with people on the internet. Okay, too much. But yeah, don't worry about the brands. I guess they'll come with time. I try to not worry about these brands. Like I can't make content for brands. I can't. Even if I have an idea that I think would be good for a brand, I'll reach out to them, but I will never chase them. What does that do? The only people you should be caring about is your audience. Period. DJ Academics. Again, I watched this thing where he was saying that the only way to win is to win with the audience. Just win with the audience. Everything else falls in place. The audience could make, if you're looking for wealth, the audience could make you rich. It's the only thing that you could keep. If they ban you from YouTube, they'll look for you on Cake. If they ban you from Cake, they'll look for you on Rambo. But if the brand's what you have, and you have a controversy that they don't like, and they cut you off, that'll be terrible. Look at Andrew Tate. Not to, but he was banned everywhere, bro. But people are such diehard fans of this guy that like they'll look for him wherever he goes. You know what I mean? And not just him.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Not just him. Everyone else. As long as you have a strong enough community, people will look for you, man. The platforms, everything, that's not things that you own. And obviously, I'm not telling people to be extreme. Don't be extreme. Yeah, let's be guided. But yeah, care about your audience. What matters? Your audience. If you win with the audience, you won.
So you get to ask 2 questions as well.
How come you came to Kenya for the pod?
Well, I felt like that's the only way I'm going to like squeeze you down. You think about it and like this guy has come.
So what's so funny is I did the same thing for Wodemaya this time last year. I looked for him. I was in Uganda. I was like, he's in Kenya. And it was this time. It was December 26th. I looked for him. I was like, bro, hopefully I need
So I was thinking maybe he's going to fly down for like Christmas. In my mind, like, if he comes to Uganda, it's going to be hard to have this podcast conversation.
I don't know what people think that. I really
Let me find him. Let me find him where he is. Like, of course, you have to think about, okay, he's come.
I like the effort. You have to respect it. Yeah. But also, I wasn't doing too many podcasts.
Yeah, you also like you had told me this before, like right when I reached out first, and it made sense. You're like, oh, no, I'm not really like I'm not in that space, so I understand.
Sometimes you're not in the headspace to be.
TV has called me, and I'm like, no, man, like I don't have anything to share.
Yeah, at this point,
I don't.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but I really want to collaborate more. Like, I really want to collaborate a lot this year. So. Oh, hit me up, guys.
Yeah, to this. That guy wants to collaborate a lot.
Hit me up. I want to dedicate like a lot of time this year to collabs. Yeah.
Okay. So the last big conversation question is always legacy. What kind of legacy are you trying to leave behind?
What kind of legacy am I trying to leave behind?
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about this at the moment. But I would say I think I want to do interesting things in Africa at the moment. I think I really want to make really good content for them, like undeniable content. I just want to be undeniable.
What do you think about Africa?
What do you mean?
That is as plain as it is. Like,
what do I think about Africa?
What do you think about Africa?
That's such a general question. Mm-hmm. I think Africa is the most beautiful place on the planet. I think that we have a lot of genetic. I don't want to be technical, but we have a lot of genetic diversity. So Africa is so interesting to me from that perspective. Did you know that Africa has the most genetic diversity on the planet, which basically means that you are so genetically different from someone in Nigeria that you are basically from different continents. Like your genetics.
I've always felt like we're almost the same.
Yeah, you look like the same, but I saw this in a podcast. I think I saw this on Joe Rogan. Someone was talking about genetics. We like think about it like this. In Africa, we have the tallest people on the planet, right? From South Sudan,
Yeah.
right? Right next to them,
The shortest.
we have the shortest genetic
Congo.
people on the planet, Congo.
Yeah.
Even you and Nigerians, we are so different genetically. So different. Like Africa is so interesting to me.
I've never made such an observation, by the way.
So interesting. Oh, this was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about it. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, this is so interesting to me. I think it's so interesting how we still, even if we're so genetically different, we're still so similar in a lot of ways. Africans be supporting Africans, even though we be fighting a lot on Twitter and jokes. We support each other a lot. There's still so much to discover. Look at Congo. Look at Congo, like that's such an unexplored gem. South Africa is so beautiful. Morocco is also in its own thing. Nigeria is hardworking as hell. Uganda, Kenya, the culture, how switched up people are there. Tanzania, bro, this place is. I really think that there's a lot of potential here. I read someone was telling me that also economically, Africa, like the greater like African region, is like I think it's like a $3 trillion economy the way they project it. Like in terms of the politics, I think that that African, the African Union and us congregating as well, I don't think that will ever be a thing, at least in my lifetime, because of all these different leaders and stuff.
Yeah.
No one wants to give up power. But
Do you feel like though it's a good thing?
I think it'd be a good thing, bro. The travel, one generalized economy.
I've just seen in South Africa now, Kenyans are the most tourists after they scrapped the visa.
Yeah, these guys have a lot. They have very good connections with Kenya. Even all you see all the food brands, Pizza Inn,
Domino's as well.
Debonaires, all those are coming from SA. I don't know if Pizza Inn is from SA. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Galitos and those are from. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, Africa, very interesting place. For me, that's my home, and I'm gonna do such amazing content everywhere. I don't even care, bro. Everywhere, kind of like what Amaya did.
Yeah.
Put my own twist to it. I like making stuff, so if I could make things in those countries, that would be nice.
All right.
Yeah. Additionally, I think that also I'm so interested to start an actual brand, like a physical brand, with time. I think that's definitely one of my goals. I've never even said this out loud, but I think I would like to start a physical brand and for my social media, see how that does. See how it does in the shelves of Namibia.
It kind of like felt you had started that Radioactive, right?
Yeah, but also I'm not to the point that I can influence it that much. Like if what am I started like I don't know, what am I give me credit if you do. What am I like seriously started like a drink company or like whatever you want. And could get that on the different shelves in Africa and really pushed it.
Well,
Oof.
yeah. It'd be making bank, right?
But even what am I would say that he'd still definitely have a lot to do. He'd still have a lot to do in regards to like the branding and everything. I mean not his brand, but like the branding of that product because even if he's larger than life, what am I?
I mean, even Fenty has to.
Like
that.
The different markets. SA is so different from Namibia, it's different from Uganda, it's different from Ghana, it's different from Nigeria. So like there'd still be a lot of work to do. But yeah, that's something I really want to do.
You're really passionate about Africa, right? I remember you also did the African boy.
African boy. I still have my costume here. I moved it to Kenya. I have my costume there. If I ever lack content, I'll just do it. I have a good idea.
Okay, so I told Antonio to like think of a big question. We'll have to ask you at the end, so maybe just pass him the mic.
I'm so dead.
This is an ambush. He didn't actually ask it.
I asked him.
You see, I happen to be a condom ambassador.
Hey.
I create awareness on positive living for who live with HIV and AIDS. But most important, I'm now focusing more on changing the condom messaging. I believe you're sexually active.
No, I'm a good boy.
You're a good boy. Well, a lot of people have trouble with discussing condom, and that basically is why we have a lot of stigma in the country. My question to you would have been, what do you think would be the best messaging for condom? To push the agenda on prevention, to push the agenda on protection, or to push condom as a pleasure tool?
That's a good question. Okay, that's a good question. I would say, I would think about it like this: what are human beings? What appeals to them? I think people. Okay, there's different types of human beings. There's fear. There's people that are motivated by fear, by how much they fear things, and then there's people that are motivated by what's the opposite of fear? By reward. So you'd have to appeal to those two different audiences. There's people that because like what I mean by that is there's people that make decisions based off of how much they fear the outcome. Like if I do this, I really don't want to get arrested. I'd rather not do it than get arrested. And then there's people that, like me, I'm mostly motivated by reward. What will I get if I do that? So you'd have to find a way to appeal to those two. Those are two different. And I think you must be doing a good job of both.
I think you just got to give us an answer without telling us where you belong. But you mentioned you are more of reward. So you're the pleasure person. You'd use condom because it enhances pleasure, if I was able to establish how that works for you. And then there are people who are scared of getting pregnant or scared of contracting HIV. They would use condom
Yes.
the outcome.
Yes.
So you're a pleasure guy.
I would be, I think, more reward motivated. Reward
or performance.
Reward.
Do you know that there's a resemblance between engine oil and condom?
What?
I mean, what does engine oil do to vehicles? It enhances engine performance. It's about performance.
Jesus.
And then engine oil is about protecting the engine, right? Engine oil also stops the engine from rusting. Yeah?
Yes.
And when you drive a vehicle that has good engine oil, performance is also awesome. So you derive pleasure out of driving. Those are the same things you get from condom.
You put it so well, actually. Thank you.
So when we go out there now, I want us to change the narrative. Let's stop telling guys use condom because you will not get AIDS. Let's tell them use condom because of the 4 P's: performance, pleasure, protection, prevention.
That's
Just like the engine
smart.
oil.
Yes. That's actually really smart. You know, even the fact that
Take the microphone back.
Thank you. I think I should cater to all the audiences. I think you're appealing to all of them. Good job. Obviously, I tried to answer my best way I could. I really don't know too much.
No, you got it right. Because you see, when we talk about HIV or talk about condom use, we're looking at cohorts from the age of 15 up to 59. But mostly we always look at 15 to 49. Because at 15, people are sexually active. And in most spaces, they can actually make decisions on their own. So we create conversation that is able to help them in terms of condom access, condom use, and condom disposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Raymond, thank you by the coming. Yeah. Moses will also ask you and I record him, then we end.
My questions won't get done. I swear. My questions won't get done.
One for the camera, one off the camera.
Just make sure I sit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Focus, huh?
Okay.
Close the mic.
Yeah.
Focus, okay?
Yeah. Focus is fine.
I'll say, first of all, it's my first time to be on Big Cop. I'm already behind the camera. Yeah, you guys will watch my episode. Anyways, Raymond, it's very good to meet you. I've always been wanting to meet you.
Thank you.
When Mark told me we were going to Kenya to shoot Raymond, I'm like, actually, that's a good idea.
He ended so many things he was doing.
I was like, because I had to go to sorority. You get, but I was like, oh no, I have to go to Kenya and meet Raymond.
Thank you.
But before I go to my questions, people are asking, but isn't Raymond a Ugandan? Why is he in Kenya? You get, why can't you do the episode? Why can't you do the episode in Uganda? But whoever's watched the episode, he has given you all the reasons why you should be in Kenya. And I also want to move to Kenya. So.
But I don't want the message to be to move to Kenya. That's not my goal. The message here is to think about things logically, and like for me, I did a lot of content in Uganda. Like I did content in Uganda for like 2 years, and again, like I like moving. Like I like doing different things. I don't want to do the same thing over. When I left Uganda, at that point, I remember feeling like, hey, like what more do I have to offer? Like what different thing could I do? And I was thinking from a point of desperacy. So I didn't like that. So I was like, okay, let me try in Kenya. Let's see the other. And it really took off. So the message isn't to tell Ugandans to move from Kenya to Kenya. No. You could achieve success anywhere. It's to think about things logically, where you want to be, where you are, and just go ahead and chase your dream.
Okay, so my question. I will try to pick one that is going to, let me see what other people want to know, not just me. This whole thing of doing content, you get. We see Raymond Kahuma there as a very good content creator.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're doing this as a way of business. Are you doing this as a way of passion? What takes you out there? Because at the end of the day, we all need money to survive. You get. So by the time you're going to invest all this time, I'm an editor, I'm a content creator. I know what it means to edit videos. You get. You're not going to sit, the kind of videos you do, you're not going to sit and finish them in 1 week. You get. My clients usually get, when we do work, I want work like for Raymond Kahuma, and they expect it in 5 days. You get. Like, that's impossible.
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
Guys.
You didn't ask, but you made like a submission.
Yeah, but yeah, so
You're complaining to your
the
clients.
question is, how do you do this whole thing? How do you survive at the end of the day?
So for me, it's like this. I think with life, and to answer your question, I think if you want to do something like content creation, obviously it should start from why you're doing it. If you're doing it for the right reasons, right, then you can get into it as a business. You know what I mean? I'm not this is not business advice, okay? But I'm looking at it like this. This is a career for me, and I would like to make this financially feasible. As with every other content creator, the MrBeast, Logan Paul, all those guys, Wodemaya, Crazy Gamer, Flacco. I would like to make this a business, but it started off as the decision making was, okay, I'm going to do this as a business because I enjoy doing it. Does that make sense? It's because I enjoy doing this that I want to make it a business. Because you could do anything you wanted. You could be a businessman in downtown. But you chose this because you like it. I'm not to say that you didn't like the other one. It's that you see there's something about this that appeals to you. You know? So for me, this is a career path that I like. I like being on camera. It was terrible at first, like the first 2 years. When they turn on the camera, I'd say nothing. I'd be talking to them, nothing. Then you start sweating profusely. You're like, it was crazy for me, bro. I don't even know at this point.
So how do you do it? Do you have a team?
No, I just have a videographer in Kenya here, and that's that. But it's just persistence. Like the point that I'm at isn't even where I want to be, but it's just persistence. Like with time, you get better at being on camera.
So let's say there are times when you want to do some content. Probably your videographers. This is something you get. So I'm going to assume you're going to film yourself, and you're going to edit yourself. What I'm asking here, I'm guessing you have all the skills to set the camera and to do the editing, right? And I could also do the same thing, but this sets us apart as we're different kind of content. We're both content creators, but in a different way. What you do is different from what I do. Because me, I'm a person that is going to rely more on clients. I'm going to yes, I would like to do stuff like you, but I think I'm too busy with my clients.
Yeah, and obviously none is better than the other. It's just what you want to do right now. That's your business model. There's content creators that make cameras. Like for him, he's a content creator, but he works in Canons. He knows what will make the Canon nice, the color profile, Then there's me who wants to be in front of the camera. Then there's you who wants to kind of do both. You kind of want to like film people, and all of them you could find fulfillment in that. As long as you're in the space, you know, as long as you're in this space, you love it. You know what I mean? You can do all of those things.
Keron, so this is not my show. my questions won't get done. Honestly. You get.
Okay.
So let's stop here. I hand over the mic back to you.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Thank you, Raymond. Thank you. Really. This first of all, it's a solid conversation.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Your favorite guest first?
Uh,
Am I your favorite guest?
yes.
Nah, you took too long, bro. You took too
I
long
wanted to say it myself.
It's a lie.
You just you skipped it to me like I was going to say, man, like you are my favorite guest.
It's a lie, bro.
that guest.
I don't believe you.
But this has been the best conversation I've had in content creation.
Oh, thank you.
But because also you like the biggest content creator, right? Like you are referring to us, and that's amazing.
I'm honored that you think that.
Ask Raymond if he's a celeb.
Yeah.
No, ask him.
Are you recording now?
Ask him if he's a celeb.
Do you feel like you're a celebrity?
No.
You are.
I feel like celebrity is like, every time I think of celebrity, I think of musician.
Damn, right?
Yeah, like Calligraph Jones, like those are celebrities, bro. Those are guys that can't walk in town. Hey, bro. I'm walking down right now. We go and walk in. But there's guys that Southie Soul, those guys can't walk in town.
But these days when you walk in town, like, oh,
no, for me it's more like if I find someone, let's say I happen to, and most of the time I don't. If I find someone that likes me, I'll be like, oh, I like your content, bro. Like, good job. But like celebrities, hey, that's like Southie Soul, bro.
Okay, man. Thank you. Really.
All right, boys. This has been nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.